Hey guys, what is going on? Welcome back to another map guide in Vanguard, and today we're going to be taking a look at Eagle's Nest, which is one of my absolute favorite maps in the game. Just before we get into it here though, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. I do very much appreciate it. It really does help me out. Of course, we are still looking for 6,000 subscribers, and if you could help me achieve that goal, that would be absolutely massive. So, let's take a look at the flags here like we always do. The C flag is on this little plinth style bit with the cliff face on the cliff patio. As you can see, this is the C flag here. It's a little bowl style area, which is not ideal to usually defend yourself from. So keep that in mind when you are trying to hold this area. If we do move here, we see walk through the library. You can move towards this area here in the little bar style area, which you can is in the B flag. This is the main sort of dining room style area of the map. A lot of combat does happen in here because, I mean, this is of course where the B flag is. And there is a lot of different angles and little corridors that you can use to traverse this area and get into the other lanes. Like that doorway there in the elevator room and that window there. Even, come on, give me a little, yeah, and even this way here, you can use that to get towards the little catwalk style area. And then you can use this area to move towards the library side area. And again, another doorway to the other lane. And you can use this to get into the lounge area. You can see here another doorway that does lead towards the A flag. And then you can see the A flag, which is, again, a little bit of a bowl style area, but it's not as sort of unprotected as the little plinth style area that we did talk about on the C flag. So just keep that in mind when you are using this area. You can get shot from the library lounge style area while you are trying to attack the A flag. So just keep that in mind here. So the first thing that I wanted to talk about on this map is of course the little outsidey sun terracey patio style bit with the boxes. You know this area of this map. This is one of the highly tracked areas because, I mean, a lot of people just love to sit behind these boxes. They get the boxes out of the way. Happens very quickly for the most part. Once the grenades start flying around this map, most of the debris and everything will get destroyed, like all your windows, all your doors, all of your breakdownable barriers will just get broken up pretty much immediately by this. So a lot of people do sit on these boxes here. They'll sit up here and they can look towards the window, they can look towards the outside lane, they can look towards the door. Typically, people do sit here, so just keep this in mind when you are moving in this area. You know this already. Again, if you get those boxes and stuff out of the way, you can very clearly see a nice line of sight towards the door, again the window, again the outside lane. And again, people do use this to move up in this area. Again, the window, again, the outside lane, and again, the doorway. They use this spot to sort of look at those two again, and then they'll jump up another one and then use this to hold the doorway. And again, this is one of the most frustrating parts of this map is this little window here, trying to get in and out of this spot. Like, for example, this is one of my most frustrating moments on this map. Like, I'll come from the C flag and I'll try and run this way, slide through here so we don't get shot. And I'll be like, yep, no problem. I'll take out somebody here, and then I will jump up on this area. I'll be like, yep, I want to go in the window. And then it opens into you, and you're like, okay, well, I have to do this in a different way. And then you'd be a sitting duck up here just waiting for the window to open, do goofy things, and then you try and climb back up and the window will close and then you have to open the window. It's just a mess. I typically don't usually like to jump in this window just for this specific reason because, I mean, you just have to fiddle about with the window too much. It's a massive pain. So just keep that in mind if you are trying to move in this area. I think it does happen a little less from the other side. It's a little easy to jump in, so just keep that in mind if you are moving around this area. Another one of my favorite spots on this map is actually on the outside lane here. Again, you are very exposed from the back here, but if your teammates are holding down that little terracey bit back there, you should be able to move in this area fairly confidently. You will see a lot of people do come out this side, but again, when you are in this area, you actually have to be aware of just there. And again, up in that little window there that is broken, as you can see. If people are in this area and you're getting easy kills on them, somebody might actually decide to counter this spot. The number one counter to this spot is, of course, jumping in and out of that window there and just shooting people because you're very exposed here. Get those pot plants out of the way and get that window out of the way there. You get a nice little shot on people who are moving through the library to come down this side. But again, you're very, very exposed here because you can get shot from there. And I've been countered and killed a number of times in this position, getting easy kills on people. And then somebody walks in that window there, you're just an easy kill. Again, if you do walk along the outside corridor, you can use this to your advantage. You walk in and out of this pillar here, get some nice kills on people who are trying to stop you from being here. And again, that doorway there, but again, you have to keep in mind this spawn back there, and that window there, and then the little patio for the C area. Again, you can get taken out in all these spots, but again, this is pretty easy to hold for the most part, as you can just duck in and out of the wall and use this as cover, and then get some easy kills on people. Window opens up here, so you can jump in and out of this area. Again, you do have to care that window up the top there, and if you are moving through here, you want to go this way towards the library bit. You do have to keep in mind that there is the spot down there that you can get shot through. So just be moving quickly through this, try and hug this wall, try and cross this area and then get towards the wall as quickly as possible rather than just taking a quick left-hander and trying to get up the stairs because you're a little bit exposed. They can see your legs when you are moving through this area. So just try and do a little jump, get across close to the wall as possible and then sneak through that area. Again, you do have to be aware of the window in this part for the most part. You're trying to move into the library, but you can sort of chuck grenades and bounce them into this area here. Not super useful most of the time, as you can see. Does typically land about in this area here. If you do move around towards the C flag again, you can use this spot to try and take the C flag and then try to run the spawn here. You can see towards the C flag building again, moving around further. You can see on the outside lane here, you can see people who are trying to come down that side. You get a couple of taps on them, you get a nice kill. Move up into there, and you can see the people moving towards the C flag again from that way. One of the most toxic spots on this map, and if you use this spot, we literally cannot be friends anymore. If you sit in this bush, you are just the worst person in the world, I think. I've sat in this bush before if you're trying to get a reload off or someone get a stim shot into you. That's fine. I don't mind that. Just trying to take a little break here. But if you hear someone and you are specifically waiting for them to come around the corner so you can just give them a little tap, that's toxic, bro. Don't do that. That's so toxic. Again, moving into this area here, you can do this on a couple of the trees that are in this area as well. It's a little less effective as they aren't as thick in terms of the actual foliage on the trees. You're pretty easy to see as you are compared to the snow background. So usually you can get a couple of kills on people who are sitting in the trees here. But again, it's a little tough. You can just use this spot to sort of reload, get a stim shot again. Just use these to sort of like pause and then move about your game. Don't just sit in them. You just got to move out of these spots because once people know that you can sit there again, if you do sit in this spot once, people will be expecting you to sit there. So if you try it a second time, they're just going to get an easy kill on you. Move through this area here, you have to be care of that point there and that point there. And sometimes that bit there, you're a little less likely to be able to shoot somebody who is sort of holding there because you do have to worry about that particular position there, like this area here. So if somebody is sitting there, you're not very likely to be able to get a kill on them. And it's something worth checking if you move through here. So when I do play in this area, I usually like to play a little bit more slowly. Don't expose myself to this little fence area a bit because, I mean, you're just an easy target here. And you want people to be coming to you. When they do walk in this area, they do typically move like this. They'll sort of spawn back here and they'll go la 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 la. And they'll have a couple of areas to worry about. And they can't really see you if you are sitting there, but you can see them. They have to worry about the door, they have to worry about that door, and they have to worry about the close point here, and maybe somebody's head poking out of that bit there. So they're really not going to be worried about this spot too much. So again, you just use that to your advantage and you get easy kills on people who do peek their little head up off this spot here. Again, if you do sit all the way back here, you can typically see towards the C flag building. You can't really do too much about that box. I think that's just going to sit there for the most part. You can sort of bust it up a little bit and you can sort of get a bit of a sight line through. So you get rid of that box there, bust it up a little bit. Actually, you can break it, which is neat. So you bust up that crate there. Somebody's going to blow that up surely, like a bit of an explosion. You can see towards that doorway there. So that's a nice little spot through there. If you do have a longer scope, you can get some easy kills there. Another spot that people do love to sit in is, of course, in the combat, the longer lane here. As you can see, a lot of people will sit in here and they'll shoot towards this. They'll shoot towards that window for the most part. They'll sit in here. They'll duck in and out of this little... They'll use this a little bit of a jitter peek, and you are pretty tough to see when you are in this spot. So just keep this in mind. If you are moving in this area, trying to peek out of that door there, or that door there, you're mostly going to be walking into a gunfight here if somebody is trying to hold this spot as well. Open the window there. A little bit more tricky if you do have to shoot a couple of panes out of the window. Make it a little easy for yourself to have a bit more cover. You can get a nice little shot through it, but if you just poke your head up, a couple of taps on that guy there, and he is dead. So just keep this in mind. A lot of gunfights do happen in this area here, in this window, and this where I'm standing here, so just keep that in mind. Another tip that I have for you here is do not sit in the bar area for any length of time other than to get like 1 or 2 kills. Like use this to get a nice kill on somebody who is there and then get out of this area as soon as possible, because this is literally just a bowl here. Like if you were to just like look at this from any other angle, you can just see like you're just gonna die if you're sitting there. Another very important light of sight that you do have to keep in mind, if you do want to take out somebody who is sitting on these boxes here, they're just camping and they're just waiting for you to peek on this little lane here. Get a nice little shot on through this window here. A couple of taps there, and the same does apply in this window here. A couple of taps there. And again, the same applies for this window as well. Where is it? Where is the box? Where is the box? There. You can see that spot. People are sitting on these boxes here. You have very, very easy kills. You can also poke your little head out and just sort of take somebody out who is sitting on that box there. But is a little less reliable. You can also get a nice little shot through that window there. You break that, nice little tap, but again, you are exposed from most of the middle of the map. When I'm in here, this is a particularly toxic spot on this map as well. That doorway there, because it's a spawn, a lot of people do sprint up into this little area here. They'll try and sprint through the door as quickly as possible. If you are crouched here and you're just bobbing in and out of this area here, like you're so hard to shoot from this area. Like most of the time, people will just move into this area like this. They'll go there, and then they'll try and shoot that doorway, but they won't be expecting you to sort of duck in and out of these chairs here, man. It might seem like it's like not a very good spot because there's not really great cover here, but you're so annoying to shoot. The lighting change. It's just a very annoying person to shoot somebody who is ducking in and out of here. Again, you can actually use these windows to give yourself a little punch hole, get that little out of the way, and you can use this to sort of stop people from moving into this area here through that doorway. Again, that doorway there and that doorway there. You can defend this and move towards the A flag. But again, this is another one of those spots that's like, hey, don't sit in here for too long. Use this spot very, very sparingly, because if you, as you can see again, you just wait for it. Someone chucks a frag in there, you're getting a kill. Somebody is dying if they are sitting in here. It's just the way it goes. It's just how sitting in little box rooms go in this game. Somebody chucks a frag in there, you're probably going to die. Same thing applies to the other side. Give a little tap, give a little tap on that window there, and you can hold this doorway and hold that doorway there as well. You shoot that one out as well. Nice little shot across the hallway. Again, a lot of people do sit up here, as you can tell. A lot of people sit in here. They wait for people to peek in the stairs. They wait for people there, or they wait for people there. This is a super common spot, and I really don't know why. It's just people love to stand here and just go like this. They'll shoot towards there. They'll shoot towards there. They'll shoot towards there. Like, people just love to be a sitting duck here. They love to snipe in this spot because it is satisfying. You will typically come across a lot of sniper battles in this area because this is just one of those spots where a big open corridor. Let's get the snipers out, boys. But again, because you are standing here, you're exposed from there, there, and then the back there. So don't sit here. Like, this is just a really bad spot to just be sitting in. Like, it's nice to get those sniper battles occasionally when you do get into them, and it's definitely a lot of fun. But again, because you're so exposed from there, this is a highly trafficked area. The map people love to come through this spot, try and take the A flag, or even get a kill on somebody who is sitting here. So you're really a sitting duck if you are just sitting in this spot. So just keep that in mind. Don't sit here for too long. If you do want to sit there, that's fine, but don't sit there for too long because you will just get taken out. A very important piece of information to know about this map is if you are in this area here, you really are a sitting duck if you try and move like this. If you try and get out of this area using the jump, the cliff facey bit, if you try and do that, you're really a sitting duck here for the most part because your gun goes away for about a second and a half and you can't fight back. So you do jump out of this area here, just keep this in mind. You're going to be a real sitting duck if you just jump up here. It's going to be a bit of a problem for you. Another very important line of sight that we do want to talk about. It's not really a line of sight. It's more of a jump spot, actually. As you can see, people love to sit up here. This is a very common spot as a lot of people do traffic this area. And you're like, well, say I want to jump down in here, get a nice easy kill on somebody who is sitting there, get a tap fire, and then you're like, well, now I'm a bit stuck down here. Now I'm a bit stuck down here. I'll get a kill in there, get a kill there. And I'm like, I want to move back up into the middle area. So normally people would literally just go like this. They'll go la 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 la, and they'll jump into this area here and be like, yep, that was pretty slow. That was pretty slow, and you're not really taking advantage of the map here. What you can do, jump up on here, jump up on the bookcase, jump over the top. Very easy way to get up here and then get a nice kill on somebody who was walking through that corridor. That is, again, this little jump here. Bro. That again, there's this little jump here. Jump up on the bookcase, jump up on there. Very simple stuff to move in and out of this area. Works the other way too, assuming you have broken this out. Not as useful because, I mean, a little less useful to sort of jump over there. But if you do manage to use that, people won't really know that you're sort of in this area now. Say they know that you're in here. Say somebody knows that you've jumped down here. And they're probably just going to think that you jumped down there. They might even jump out of the window there and expect you to be there. But if you go like this, jump across, nobody's going to see you and know that you are here. And then you can just peek out wide and get a little kill on them like that. But with this map, really, I don't think there's too much to talk about. There's not super hidden lines of sight. Most of these maps in the game are pretty straightforward, apart from some of like the box shots and stuff like that. Maybe some of the window shots. Maybe little punch holes that you can do. Maybe you sort of shoot that out there and get the little shot and wait for somebody to come there. But for the most part, a lot of this stuff is fairly self-explanatory. You can jump in and out of this window, as I'm probably sure you know that by now. You can get a nice little kill on somebody who's running this way. But for the most part, that is most of this map here, and I do really think this is one of the better maps in the game. This should be one of your absolute favorites, because there's pretty much combat for everyone on this map. Bit of long-range stuff on the outside, bit of medium-range stuff on the outside again, and the other side as well, and close range in the middle. This is just one of my absolute favorite maps because it's really clean. I really would like to see this come back in other Call of Duty games. I think a reskin of this, or a retheme, or a mini master of this would be very cool. So again, that is going to be your map guide for Eagle's Nest in Vanguard Season 1. If you did learn something from this and you did really enjoy this one, make sure you do hit that subscribe button with those notifications turned on. I do very much appreciate it. It really does help me out. Again, thank you very much for watching, as I said, and hopefully I will see you in the next one. Bye!